Hello, my scholars. This is my school channel where we are solving the JAMB CBT past question for the subject biology the year 2013. Do not go anywhere because you'll be joining me to solve this question. Stay with us. You're welcome back to this video segment, and in this particular session we are solving questions 26 to 49. So join me as we start with question 26. Which of the following is a waste product of an insect? So probably I'm talking about a grasshopper or a cockroach. All right, so and if you must talk about waste products, we are referring to their excretory organ, and I can point to the Malphikian tubule. Okay, so in this tubule, at one distal end, okay, nitrogenous waste and water is being absorbed. Okay, as it passes through this particular tubule, the nitrogenous waste is then converted to uric acid. All right, so the answer here is to the question we have, which is which of the following is a product of an insect, waste product of an insect, that is uric acid, that is being gotten from the conversion that occurs to nitrogenous waste. All right, so option B is the correct option. Question 27. The main structure in vertebrates that supports and protects the body is the what? Okay, that is the skeleton. Why are we going for skeleton? Organism first evolved, okay, in water, and in water they have enough supports for them to survive or successfully survive the Earth's gravitational pull. So, but as all of this evolution occurs, they move to land where the air is denser than water. Of course, we know that. And this implies that there should be a support system. So in the course of evolution, organisms have to evolve a kind of system that can support them and also allow movement and as well provide protection. And that is where skeleton came up. All right, so the main structure in vertebrate that supports and protects the body is the skeleton. So option A is the correct option. Number 28. The chitin in the exoskeleton of many arthropods is strengthened by what? So we know that chitin is the major component when it comes to exoskeleton of arthropods. Okay, so and we can tell that chitin is often strengthened, okay, by deposits of adding proteins, okay, and minerals such as calcium carbonate. So if we scan through the options provided, you will find that we have proteins, okay, and calcium compounds, to be specific, calcium carbonate. So this tells us that option B and option C, they are two viable answers that can be presented. So whatever thing we are going for, probably in subsequent questions, just know that if you have proteins being presented to you or calcium compounds, just know that both answers are valid. So I leave it to you. This is what we are having for question 28. 29. The transfer of pollen grains from the anther to a stigma is what? Okay, that is the definition for pollination. The transfer of pollen grains from an anther, okay, to a receptive stigma. All right, and we have types of pollination: self-pollination and cross-pollination. And we can talk about pollinating agents, the insects, the wind, and what have you. So the correct option is option C. When we talk about propagation, I can refer to vegetative propagation. That's one kind of asexual reproduction. Okay, when we talk about placentation, that is the arrangement of ovule in the ovary. When we come to option D, fertilization, fusion of the male and the female cells. Okay, for the male you're talking about the sperm cell, for the female you're talking about the ovum or the egg cell. So that's fertilization. The correct option here once again is option C for pollination. Question 30. The male reproductive organ of a flower is the what? Is the stamel. The female is the carpel. Okay, the petal actually attracts the pollinators either using colorful display or nice scent. Okay, it also protects the stamen and the carpel, the stamen and the carpel as well. The sepal, actually, I can just say it basically protects the essential parts, all right, during the flower's bud stage. So the correct answer here is option B for stamen. 31. The gland that is found just below the hypothalamus is what? That is the pituitary gland. Okay, so it has two parts, the anterior and the exterior, and they both secrete hormones, polypeptide and protein. So that's what we're looking for, option C. The parathyroid and the thyroid we're talking about this side, the adrenal gland we're talking about here. So pituitary gland is just located just below the hypothalamus. So the correct option once again is option C for pituitary gland. Question 32. The most important plant hormone is the what? The auxin. Okay, when you talk about aspect of growth and development, you're talking about division, elongation, and differentiation. So we are looking at auxin. So auxin is one of the most important plant hormones. So option C is the correct option. Question 33. The sensory cell that responds to dim light is referred to as the rod cells. Okay, so they are extremely sensitive to light. Even when there is low intensity of light, they are still sensitive. So when you talk about the black and white vision, we are talking about the rod cell. The cone cell, we are talking about the color vision, and it functions properly in bright light. Okay, so the answer is between the rod and the cone. So the correct answer that I've mentioned is the rod cell. So option C is the correct option. Question 34. The absence of antidiuretic hormone in humans results in what? Okay, at first, when we say antidiuretic, it means it's against or it's working in opposition to diuretic. So diuresis is actually the production of large quantity of diluted urine. Okay, so that occurs probably when you take water, but we have certain conditions like probably like diabetes insipidus. Okay, and in that particular kind of condition, your body stops or reduces the production of antidiuretic hormone, ADH, and in such cases you can see that the production of urine, dilute urine in large quantities continues. Okay, so when there's now presence of ADH will do something that is contrary to diuresis. Okay, so if diuresis is about production of large quantity of urine, that is loss of water, antidiuretic is about controlling the loss of water. So when there is absence of this, that means the body keeps on losing water. Okay, and what I can refer to is increasing dehydration. Of course, we have this as well as being viable. Okay, but when there is absence of it, what we can see is there's an increase in dehydration continually and can possibly lead to drastic dehydration when there is no medication or corrective measure being imputed. So I present to you option D with debate. 35. Estrogen is a hormone that is synthesized in the female reproductive organ, okay, alongside progesterone, which we know as a pregnancy hormone. Okay, the function of the estrogen, okay, is actually to stimulate the secondary female characteristics, the development of it. Okay, so when you talk about the estrogen, I've mentioned it is being synthesized, okay, in the female reproductive organ, and that is why we are looking at ovaries. So the correct option is option A for ovaries. Kindly click on that link in the description below. It's going to move you to the Myschool website. There you can get the Myschool mobile app or the Myschool software, and you can have a JAMB simulated CBT practice experience. So join me as we solve question 36. The eye defect caused by the development of cloudy areas in the lenses, okay, whereby sufficient light cannot enter into the eye, that condition is cataract, okay, eye cataract. When you talk about presbyopia, you are talking about a condition whereby the lens and the ciliary muscle, they are losing their elasticity, and this can occur as one advances in age. Okay, when you talk about glaucoma, you're talking about a condition whereby there is damage to the optic nerve. Okay, and it's one of the leading causes to blindness in people. All right, so let's go to astigmatism. You know, in this condition, this is talking about the surface of the cornea. All right, there's kind of uneven. Okay, and we can also tell that this defect is quite common in people. All right, so and in some cases you see that some people can see vertical figures properly and horizontal will look somehow. So the correct option, of course, to the question given us is cataract, option C. Do not forget to hit the like button. Also click on the subscribe button and always tap on that bell notification so you can get alerts immediately we upload the next video segment just for you. 37. A pollutant that is biodegradable is what? It's actually the sewage, okay? And that is where the beneficial aspect of microorganism comes in, especially in this particular context referring to sewage. You're talking about the saprophytic microorganism, okay? They will just break this down for us into harmless inorganic compounds. So that's biodegradable pollutants in the options provided is sewage. Option D is the correct option. Number 38. A tropical disease caused by Trypanosoma gambiense, okay, is what? Sleeping sickness. It actually affects the nervous system, and this through the bite of infected tsetse fly. River blindness, we are talking about onchocerciasis, okay. This is one of the leading causes as well when this parasitic worm. Okay, so it's actually one of the leading causes, like I was saying, to blindness. All right, so when we talk about yellow fever, you're talking about bites from infected Aedes mosquito. All right, so and this can also be vaccinated. You can get vaccine for it. When we look at malaria, it's caused by bites of female mosquito. All right, so infected one, of course. We have different malaria plasmodium, okay? So the correct option, going back to the question given us, a tropical disease caused by Trypanosoma gambiense is sleeping sickness by the bite of infected tsetse fly. So option A is the correct option. Number 39. The solid part of the ecosystem is referred to as the lithosphere, okay? The part or the layer of water, the part referring to the water part is the hydrosphere, okay? I'm trying to look for the best presentation. So the solid part, now the liquid part will be hydrosphere, solid part, okay? This is the air part to put, okay? So layer of air, enveloping area of air, layer of air to be precise. Then biosphere is just any part of the earth or part of the ecosystem where life can be found. So it can be in the atmosphere, in the hydrosphere, and in the lithosphere. So lithosphere, solid part, liquid part, the air part, okay? And this is the life part up together. So option D is the correct option. Question 40. Which of the following is caused by the pathogen Treponema pallidum? Okay, that is syphilis. When you come to gonorrhea, talking about the pathogen Neisseria gonorrhea, all right, leprosy, Mycobacterium leprae, tuberculosis, Microbacterium tuberculosis. So syphilis, this is the pathogen. So the correct option here is option D for syphilis. 41. To which blood group do universal recipients belong to? Okay, that is AB, because their plasma do not contain neither the antibody A or the antibody B, okay? Blood group O is a universal donor because the red blood cell do not contain antigen A or antigen B, so they can donate to all blood groups but can only receive from group O, okay? This can receive from all blood groups, of course. All right, so the correct option in response to the question given us is option D, blood group A, B. Question 42. The clumping together of red blood cells is what? Agglutination, okay? When you are trying to transfuse blood, okay? You want to send blood from a donor to a recipient and they are from different blood groups, okay? You have to understand these conditions. Probably you want to transfuse blood from group A to blood group O. Of course, there will be clumping of blood or agglutination to put, all right? Because of these antibodies and antigens. Okay, all of those things put together. All right, so you should know that the presence of antigen and antibodies. The antigens are present in the red blood cell, antibodies in the plasma. So all of those conditions just put together, you understand the concept better when you read further. When you talk about fusion, okay, we have fusion, we have fission, binary fission and the like. So when you talk about compatibility, we're talking about if two things are going to work together effectively. So the correct option here is option A for agglutination. 43. Physiological adaptation to very dry conditions in animals demonstrates what? Okay, so when the temperature is low, you talk about hibernation, and you can see that in bears and squirrels. Okay, when you talk about estivation, when the temperature is high, okay, so you can talk about snails and fishes. Rejuvenation, you know, is about like becoming youth again. All right. Xeromorphism, we're looking at xerophytes. Okay, those this kind of phenomenon whereby a particular plant can survive or probably adapt in a dry weather condition. So physiological adaptation to very dry conditions in animals. Okay, so I'm going to give this to option D, estivation. 44. One of the adaptation of cactus opuntia to conserve water is the reduction of its leaves to spine. Okay, so this is what you actually see. That is why when you try to touch the cactus plants, okay, you can get prickled by the spiny leaves. So the correct option here is option C, leaves to spine. Do not forget that you can ask your questions right now. All you need to do, click on the link in the description below. It's going to take you to the Myschool website. There you can ask those questions and our solution providers are waiting to help you out. So join me as we solve question 45. Which of the following structure is adapted for feeding in a bed of prey? So practically we're talking about birds that are actually predators that feeds on prey or that live off prey. Okay, we're talking about birds like carnivorous birds like eagles, like owls, like hawks, and what have you. So what do you see? What is that structural adaptation that we see? You can find hooked beak. Okay, this hooked beak, this spelling should be beak, B-E-A-K, rather, not R. There's no R present. So hook beak is actually strong and hooked because it can be used to kill their prey, okay, and also to tear off their flesh. All right, and also sharp claws. These sharp claws are as well strong. They are used in capturing their prey, okay, catching them, gripping them, and also carrying them, probably to feed their youngs. So the correct option here is option A, hooked beaks and sharp claws. Option A is the correct option. We believe that you may have better presentations or explanations to any of the questions we have solved so far. Please, we are very much interested. All you need to do, use that comment section below and indicate the question number, and we'll be waiting for your earnest cooperation. 46. The special pigment for color change in chameleon is the chromatophore. Okay, this is kind of a special pigment that is found on the surface of the skins of animals. All right, it's responsible for coloration and color change in animals. So this special pigment is referred to as the chromatophore, and that option is option D for chromatophore. Number 47. The behavioral adaptation in social insects could best be described as what? Okay, based on the options provided, I will go for symbiosis. You know, this is kind of a close, prolonged living together or association between two unrelated organisms, different species, okay, to put. All right, so, and recently we can put forward the types of symbiosis as parasitism, commensalism, mutualism. All right, so parasitism, of course, you know, in this particular kind of association, one is harming the host, one is harming the other, one is benefiting and it's also harming the other. Okay, so when you talk about commensalism, one is benefiting, okay, without harming the other, okay, and why the other too is not benefiting. So one is just a good beneficial, of course. So when you talk about saprophytism, it is feeding on dead substance or dead or decaying substance. So the behavioral adaptation in social insects could best be described as what? We know that social insects like your bee, like your wasps, like your ants, your termites, okay, they have this kind of caste system whereby everybody has a kind of specialization. What they do, they are so specialized that individuals can survive on their own. So automatically that they are born, they have their roles in the entire setup. So I can best put forward this presentation based on the options provided that the behavioral adaptation in social insects could best be described as symbiosis, at least option A. 48. In the diagram, the structure labeled 2 is what? Is the clitellum. Okay, it actually secretes cocoon, this cocoon, okay, to contain eggs. So what we've identified here is an earthworm, and the part labeled 2 is your clitellum. All right, we know this particular organism is an earthworm, okay, and they belong to the phylum of annelids. We know examples of annelid like your earthworm and leeches. They are segmented worms with long cylindrical bodies. So the correct option here is option C for the clitellum. Number 49. The organism, which is earthworm that we identified in the previous clip, okay, is found in soils rich in what? Rich in humus. Okay, this is a type of soil that fits them because at first the water holding capacity is very good for the earthworm, and of course it comprises or it contains enough organic material for the earthworm to live off. So the correct option here is option B for the humus soil. Right there, we've come to the end of this video segment, but there are definitely more interesting and educative content to come. All you need to do is to hit that like button, also click on the subscribe button, and always tap bell notifications so you can get alerts immediately we upload the next video segment just for you.